The auditors are here to know whether your highness has made his mind up.
What is the time?
Almost 11. In fact, your highness only just has time if he's to dress for the gala parade.
And you say today it's fine?
My lord, it is. There's a breath of fresh air from the sea. There's not a cloud in the clear morning sky.
I'd give 1,000 piastres to have a cloudburst, and then I'd spend the day in my armchair, dreaming pleasant dreams. But on such a day as this, when almost all Lima will be at the service, should I moulder out of sight for some auditor could not matter less?
Well, that's for your highness to decide on.
Are the mules harnessed in silk?
Yes, sir, they are.
Then my new carriage, which has arrived from Madrid, there's not a person in Lima who has seen a carriage like it.
What a shock it's going to give the natives.
My two guards will be dressed in brand new clothes. Besides, I still have to appear and dazzle the natives, wearing my new velvet suit, with my new medallion the king has just sent from Spain. The bishop's going to mention it all from the pulpit. He gets quite a kick to hear himself referring to things like that. Martinez, I'll go, yes, by God, and I'm going to walk, and let stupid auditors who think they're more grandeur than me all be devoured by spite. Balthasar, I want my new velvet suit. I want to go to the service.
To the service, but your highness, but Dr. Pineda has expressly ordered that your highness stays in.
Well, Dr. Pineda can say what he likes, only I know if I am ill or if I am really well, and I haven't got gout. Neither grandfather nor my father ever had gout. And they want me to believe that I might have gout at my age. Come on, Balthasar, it's time to dress. Aye, don't be so rough. I don't know what it can be. I've got a pain which feels like needles burning inside my slipper.
I don't think your highness should risk open air. It is frankly unsafe.
Oh my God, goodness, it hurts. How on earth will I ever put on my shoes? Heavens above! I would rather writhe on the rack than have this torture.
Perhaps your highness should remember Signora Pineda. He said you really ought to avoid all fatigue and standing in draughts.
Yes, it is fatigue that I dread, for I have not got gout, and I could go out if I felt so inclined. Balthasar, you'll kindly remove my new velvet suit. I do not want to suffer regrets. It's a stupid thing to glory in display, dressed in velvet and satin ribbons. All right, since it seems I have no choice and must stay indoors, and since I have nothing to do, I think I shall deal with the affairs of the state. Come here, Martinez, now to work. You know my briefcase is full of important dispatches.
Perfectly true. That's just what I would have said to your highness. We shall begin with the most urgent first, and that is this letter from Colonel Garcia Vasquez, which informs you there has some sort of trouble brewing up north, right on the borders of Chuquisaca. He says the Indians are having frequent meetings, and he must reinforce right away. Or by next month there will certainly be revolution.
Martinez, I have this feeling I've heard all this before. In fact, it all sounds quite familiar. That Colonel Garcia Vasquez, and then the province of
Chuquisaca is the name. You may recall I made you a general report several weeks ago when you were so ill with your monthly attack of gout. Oh, that is what I really meant to say. It was the last time you were ill.
I see. How did I answer?
Your Highness said you would consider it.
I see. And how far away from Lima is this wretched little province of you know where?
About 300 Spanish miles.
Indeed, is it really as far as all that? Well, now, this case is very complex. One must never jump into easy solutions without thought. I shall consider
Again?
So now I think we'll look at some other affair.
There's a complaint that's been lodged by the Marquis of Altamirano against one parakeet, which is the pet of Senora Périchole. And the Senora Périchole herself, she avers that The parakeet itself at the instigation of your... No, it's mistress. When the marquise is going by each morning to take the air, calls after her names which the lady's modesty and sense of dignity forbade her to repeat. And she demands to find Signora Périchole guilty and wring her neck. What? No, I mean find the parakeet guilty and wring its neck. And the Signora must be reprimanded.
Does the parakeet agree?
Well, my lord, here are the facts. The parakeet, when the marquise walks past him, will squawk, "What's the price? How much a yard?" Now, as the said marquise is the child of a merchant who dealt in cloth, to hear the bud refer to her past makes her see red.
This delightful creature's going to land me in trouble with every woman here.
I have here a letter that's from the Countess Montemagno, who complains of a vulgar joke by the same Signora Périchole, who was appearing at the theatre last Friday and aped the Countess in the old prima donna.
Does she want to break every known convention? The girl has no respect. She must be told off straight away. I will not stand her making fun of the people here in court, and in particular the wives of the leading nobles who could so easily bring me down in Madrid.
There also is a petition from an old wounded captain.
I've had enough, and I'm starting to feel depressed. We shall read the rest some other time. Only since we're on the subject of the Signora Périchole, I'd like, my dear Martinez, to know exactly what you really think.
But, sir, how could I enlighten you, your highness?
I am asking you to tell me what they are saying in Lima.
They all say the lady is a star, a brilliant actress.
Yes, only that is not what I have been asking.
You're the most envied man, my lord, in all Peru. And it must be said, she's the most envied woman.
Come.
Oh, but, sir, I can only confirm the truth.
Since you're the most devoted servant I have at court, I will let you know something confidential. But you must understand that if I speak to you frankly, you must be frank in return.
Oh, but, sir, when in discussion with your highness, what you say is sacred. You are like my priest.
All right, Martinez, I'll tell you my dilemma. La Périchole is really an honest creature, but rather foolish and vain. She's committed millions of imprudent actions which threaten to make life awkward. And as for me, now of course I'm not afraid that she's unfaithful. The pretty child could never be that. But I feel that in Lima somebody will say the girl is unfaithful. So malign, and from time to time things may not appear quite perfect. For instance, have you never observed in her behavior some little thing that makes you wonder?
But how could you dream I could ever do so?
Now be quite at your ease. I am sorry to tell you that she does not like you, not in the slightest. She has asked that your job be given to somebody else, to her shoemaker's eldest son.
She's a viper!
Well, it's true that her little shoes are made by a fabulous craftsman, and when she's dancing in the chitanilla, in those pale pink silk stockings, and in the sweet sequin slippers, oh God, it's like a dream, it's like a dream.
The honest trust that your Highness places in me is rewarding, but can make things awkward for me. And let me say, if I seem cautious, it is not that I would be reluctant to cast any doubt on the worth of dear Signora Périchole, but because I fear your Highness might consider I'm hurt and I'm getting my own back. I speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and do not seek revenge, because your Highness, without any doubt, would not react. And after all, it's really only the merest trifle.
What's the merest trifle? What's going on?
Oh, not very much. We can be sure that the Signora adores you. You are so very noble. Who would not adore such a man?
Who has been saying what?
Your Highness really mustn't dream of paying too much attention to what's been said. For, as your Highness pointed out in our conversation earlier, the world is maligned.
But God, what is it that you've heard?
At the bullfight last Friday week, I expect that your Highness may have seen a well-built, handsome lad, as lean and lithe as a panther, and as brave as 20 lions. He's the matador Ramon, the most outstanding in Peru. Now certain scandal-mongers at court, and there were lots of them there that day, declared they all were struck by several passionate red-hot glances the matador had thrown at the lovely Périchole. It was noticed by all the crowd, instead of neatly luring the bull near your Highness's own enclosure, as is usually done by the matadors in Lima. This Ramon, without caring, lured it near the vicinity of Signora Périchole. In this way he really made her belle of the bulls. One has to admit that there are some types who always suspect the worst, even when everyone knows the whole thing's absurd. For example, Signora Périchole did something at that bullfight which was badly misconstrued. At the moment when the dashing young Ramon killed the bull, the Signora happened to lose her splendid rope of pearls, and Ramon knelt down and picked them up and put them round his throat. Personally, I'm sure that these particular pearls fell off by chance. Of course, my lord can well imagine that the gossips had a field day. God only knows how it all has been embroidered. People say the signora almost leapt from her box. She's supposed to have torn off the necklace on purpose, after which she threw it in the ring as she cried, "Bravo, Ramon!" Signora Robert, that well-known actress who was sitting beside her, has said your signora called out, "Bravo, my Ramon!" But I'm sure that she is telling lies, and jealousy alone makes her make that claim. She has also said that Ramon uses Périchole's box at the theatre. They also meet at her place. She's even said that the signora can sometimes disappear for hours at a time with young Ramon. Particularly if you're away at a hunt, or when she tells you she is ill.
Senor Martinez, you are allowed.
Oh, but sir!
A wretched oaf, a windbag reading lies.
Oh, but sir, I only said the things I've heard other people say.
You're a liar, you dare to tell me that I am the rival of a matador.
Oh, no, but sir, I never said.
But I know La Périchole. She's a good and trusting girl, and she loves only me. You're spreading evil lies, the very worst of lies. There's not a word, not a syllable of truth in all that you have just said.
What if your highness would remember?
What, you still keep arguing? Who is the master here? Goodness knows, if only I could walk, I'd get a whip and leave you raw and bleeding. What? Not as good as a matador. Now get out, or I shall have you thrown out of the window.
She must come in, though I've made it clear that your highness really is too busy.
Show her in, and you
Yes?
get out.
Oh. It is strange I can't come to see how you are without a wild assault on several doors that have been barred. I hope the only reason's a mild misunderstanding by that stupid fool, your guard.
I thought by now you'd be at the service.
Oh, I'm really not certain if I'm going to go. In fact, that all depends on you. But first of all, do tell me how your gout is.
I haven't got gout.
Then I know what's got you down. Just another attack of sick-room sulks. Too bad. There was one small thing I was going to ask, and I had hoped I would find you in a far better state of mind. Since you're in a mood, I will bid you good day. We'll talk about what I need some other time.
Camilla, please don't go away quite so soon. One would think that you feel afraid to sit and gossip with me.
Oh, your highness seldom makes me afraid.
Then stay here and keep me company. I'm feeling groggy. I know that you'd rather sit tete-a-tete with that young matador, Ramon.
Ramon, I just left him in town.
Ah, so you just left him in town. All right, my young senora. Since you yourself brought up the subject, I see no reason for beating round the bush.
Goodness me, I suspect that you're going to bore me with a little scene as if you're jealous, just like a husband. I fear this little scene might go on for quite a while, so I think I'll ask for my favor without waiting, and we will postpone for today your reproaches and stupid scenes.
I'm not at all in the mood to be granting any favors.
What a start! Now I think I'm going to say a few words too. All my rivals here have got together in a league so they can make my life another torture. And it's only because I've much more charm than they have. So war's broken out, only a tiny war, but it's based on whispering campaigns. If I was not so short of time, I would keep you amused with examples. We also do our damnedest to outshine all the others here in the luxury of our jewels.
What a silly idea! Some women are really stupid. As if they'd ever surpass your beauty or the luxury of your jewels. As for your lovers...
As for my lovers, I'm not at all like those old creatures. Frankly, quality's what I like. Quantity's a bore.
Camilla, kindly let me speak.
No, let me speak.
I am absolutely serious now. I must tell you I've had
enough.
enough.
That's simply perfect.
From coast to coast, they are talking about your flirtatious ways, and I think you may be making me look worse than stupid. Will you be quiet? You listen to me.
No, I won't. You listen to me. I'm a woman. You're a born in Castile. Have you forgotten your manners? Kindly be quiet when I'm talking.
All right, go on. It will be the same now or later.
As I heartily tell you today, all of the leading Lima ladies turn out in all their finest new dresses and jewels. And they try to incite other ladies to a frenzy. Now the total number of coaches in town is in fact only 5. 2 of yours, the one that is the bishop's, one of the state inspector, Don Pedro Inoyosa, and of course one belonging to the Marquis of Altamirano, my most resourceful opponent. It's as decrepit as its owner. All the same, it's still a carriage. Now when I heard you were ill and staying in this morning, I had the bright idea that you could sweetly guarantee me a way I could crush my rival, making me a gift of your lovely carriage, which has only just come through Madrid.
Goodness, what she's asking is nothing. Why, all she wants is a carriage which will take her in state to the service. It would be grand seeing an actress in a carriage. Are you a bishop or state inspector, you presumptuous child? Or a marquise that you can ride in a carriage?
You yourself have, I think, often said, I'm more than Dubarry, the Empress Cleopatra, oh, the blessed Faustina, Virgin and Martyr. All of these ladies far surpass our decrepit marquise, whose old papa had a little shop in Seville. So now do be a good boy. You've had a laugh, and you've forgotten your doom and gloom, and so you provide me with my carriage, am I right?
forget your wretched carriage, my dear signora. I want a reply. I am perfectly up to date on all the things you've done, and I'm no more blind to your scandalous behavior than I was before when we were in love. Thank God I do not love you anymore. I have seen the light. I've had enough. All the same, I'd like to see how you justify yourself and all the scandals I have heard. Let's see, why not try? Come on, I've told you to talk. And now, what can she be thinking while gazing up to heaven?
That lovely carriage!
Perhaps you think that I'll interpret your calmness as the proof of a clear conscience.
It's the calm born of true despair. For I see I've lost the chance to go to the service by carriage. Time simply flying by, and when you ask me to forgive you, it will be too late.
Ah, so you are asking pardon, my little pet, and you expect nothing less. All right, will you please forgive me for having unearthed your liaison with someone who is really very famous, no more, no less than the valiant Ramon, a half-caste by birth and a matador by trade. How well you select your new love, dear signor. He's a famous man, and all of Lima resounds to his name.
That is true. He is the bravest matador in Peru, and the handsomest as well.
You're worse than any Messalina.
Make yourself a little clearer.
You're worse than any.
Oh, so your highness should not get so upset. I should imagine it isn't good for you to get in a rage. I'm sure the doctor would quite agree. And you're bathed in sweat. That can't be very good for your gout.
Be quiet, you harlot! If I were not such a saint, I'd have you put away in a special home for girls like you.
You wouldn't dare.
I wouldn't dare. Quick, where's my pen and some paper? I'll sign the order.
There'll be a war, a revolt in Peru, if La Périchole is locked up inside.
Ah, yes, and if I forbid them in the theatre to re-engage you in any role.
Who cares? I will take my guitar and I'll go and sing in the street right by your windows, and my songs will make the people laugh at your gout and all the stupid things you say. What a stupid viceroy!
And how would you like it if I had you thrown out of Lima and then deported to Spain?
Go to Spain, sir! Nothing on earth could give me more real delight. I simply long to see the countries in Europe, and besides, once in Spain, I'd have the chance to become the mistress of our noble king. And if that were the case, I'd get even with you. I would have you accused, and you'd be brought back to Spain with your feet in chains, just like Christopher Columbus, and you'd be so relieved if I showed you mercy and human kindness, or if I had you sentenced to slowly rot in that Tower of Madrid.
And while you're waiting for that to happen, never put a foot inside this place again.
Why, I have never obeyed an order with more joy, your noble highness. And here is the necklace of diamonds you give me the day, and tonight I shall be free of you.
Périchole, Périchole, listen to the doorway. Listen here, listen to me. Must I stand up?
Did it hurt very much?
that it's all slander.
I've entirely forgotten all that I said.
Only say that it isn't true and I'll forget it all.
You can think anything you like. I bid you goodbye, and that is final.
No, please do not leave me, Périchole. I was in a foul temper, I was too upset. But now, my dear, we'll have a cozy little chat. And so all the stories I've been told are untrue.
Let me go, if you please. You can think anything you like.
But come here, my dear. All right, I think that I was wrong.
No, I'd say you were right.
You're so proud, so wicked, I ought to hate you, but then you're so enchantingly sweet. And I'm sure that all the things I heard were lies. But tell me they weren't true yourself.
No, you made me far too upset. And your esteem is a thing I really count on.
All right, no more of that. Can you forgive me, my dear? I was in such pain that I didn't know what I'd really said. Let me hold your hand. Only
What should I tell you?
Tell me you're not upset and that you forgive me the things that I said.
Yes, I will forgive you. As you love me, I'll be kind.
I won't fret anymore, and you won't let me down. But it surely would have been better to tell me why that matador...
What? The famous matador again? Do I have to show you how far this stupid jealousy has infected your brain? It is true that at Friday's bullfight I was amazed, quite swept away by his skill, by his talents and his courage. For at the moment that he was plunging his sword in the shoulder of the bull, sure of his aim, not even needing to check that the bull was really dead, he made the most perfect leap. Then he turned his back on the bull and made the most elegant bow, considering what sort of man he is. It was clear just what was meant by that bow, and so I knew at once he hoped for some reward. But I'd forgotten my purse. I reached for the nearest thing of any worth that came to my hand. But I never would have thought that this could be considered an action which could imply an atom of love. A matador. A man who lives on local gin and also eats onions raw. Oh, my dear sir.
I believe that you wanted my carriage.
We'd best forget about that. I've really had to struggle with my feelings all this morning, so I didn't cry. And I'd far prefer to go and lie on my bed to a stroll about the town.
Oh, little darling, how much she loves me. No, my angel, a ride in the morning air will certainly do you good. Neither my doctor makes me ride in a carriage if I happen to be in a temper. So, my darling, my new carriage is yours. Ring for my servant to bring it round at once.
But, sir, you ought to think, now you're being over kind in the way you seemed over harsh moments
I tell you, I want those rivals of yours to die of jealousy. In fact, if you won't take this little gift, I shall think that you are still angry and hurt.
You put it in such a charming way, I can't refuse.
Balthasar, fetch my mules and harness all of them to my brand new carriage, and say to the coachman that he and the coach all belong to Signora Périchole. Beating fast, so you still desire me.
How else could I ever hope to unlock such great goodness in your highness?
Let's forget this, your highness. Can't you call me like you used to call me in the past?
All right. Andres, today you've made me so unhappy, but so happy as well.
Give me a kiss, my angel, and forget that I am the noble Viceroy here with my Périchole.
And not the Viceroy of Peru.
So the carriage is prepared.
Have fun with your coach and come back right away as soon as the service is over. And if there's someone who tries to be awkward, do not fail to come back to me. My God, your rivals won't laugh anymore. And here's your necklace, which you quite forgot. Come nearer and let me put it on you. Angelic today,
but with me I take something worth more than any necklace in the world. Your understanding and your
the way she lies, but it's true that she loves me too. I'd do anything for her. I've even surrendered my carriage. Goodness Goodness knows what people here are going to say. Ah, I hear the sound of wheels down below. Good she did not waste much time. Balthasar, just roll my armchair beside that open window and bring my telescope at once. Then I see how well the carriage travels. Right to the door of the cathedral. Heavens, she's going fast. The coachman has not driven me at such a speed. Just as if it were me. Oh, this is crazy. She's already turned into the Palazzo Grande. She is about to collide. No, oh hell! What a fortune in the other carriage, which is overturned. And everybody running around her. Oh, what will happen? Perhaps there's going to be a scene. Oh my God, if it comes to fight, Balthasar, you must roar, you must run. Take your pistols! Throw the chairs to the rubble! Oh, thank God for that! Now she's moving forward, thanks to that fellow who's opened the path by beating him back.
So shall I run to rescue Signora Pericole's carriage?
No, you stay. There's no reason for it now. And in fact, it appears that nothing too serious occurred after all. I can see the other carriage is also moving forward, and the crowd's gone into the cathedral. Heaven protect her, may it all go just as she wants it. And one has to admit, there's no law which forbids a pretty actress to ride in a carriage. Too bad for the marquises if they're older and not so sweet, and there's not a chance that they'd be given a coach.
Monsieur Thomas d'Esquivel is here, and begs that he might have a little talk with your highness.
Show him in. He's come, no doubt, to give a boring lecture and a moral judgment in hopes of extracting something for himself. My friend, there's a sickly man sitting before you. I'm very sorry to hear it. And so it was gout that prevented you from being present this morning at the service inside the cathedral. I have not got gout. That's a rumour Pineda started. It is nothing more than cramp. I know better than him. As it happens, your highness would regret that you couldn't go to the service today. You have had the good luck to have been inside and missed the dreadful scandal. What's the scandal? Oh, hell, Périchole is almost bound to be the cause. And the scandal's massive. And frankly, your highness would quite certainly have suffered as well. All the more since from everything I gather, she did not intend to make such trouble. Who do you mean? Oh, la Périchole, the actress. Oh, here we go. Who they say your highness likes to support from time to time, has caused a serious disorder today, going to the service. Light carriage, and in the light carriage she had set out for the service. And for my part, since I was rather late, I had just accepted a seat in the fine old carriage of the Marquis of Altamirano. We did not move fast, but as was suitable to reach a cathedral. All at once, when Signora Périchole came galloping along, she seemed determined to pass my coach for the Marquises. She drew so near, we were totally crushed, and the coach ran into us with the biggest crash that you could think of. And the jolt when it came was simply frightful. The Marquise overturned on me, and I nearly crushed her pet chihuahua. Then my wig slipped and landed in the mud, and the Marquise has an awful contusion on her hip, which looks quite nasty. Thank God for that. I had feared something very much worse than that had occurred. I'd have thought that was enough. Could there be anything worse? For the coach had been severely knocked around. A magnificent coach for more than 20 years. It's been the pride and glory of Lima. I will pay, that is to say, the damage will be paid by La Périchole. Oh, but your highness, the scandal, how can it be put right? For here is something else with which, alas, I shall have to burden your highness. All the Marquise's domestic servants were enraged at the way that she had been insulted, and so they started to insult Signora Périchole's coachman. Upon which all the ruffians in the crowd, they gathered round to her side. This rabble was led by the matador Ramon, who was furious. He simply showered blows on the footman with her coach, and he actually shattered the poor man's jaw. But that's not all. Oh, without another thought, without a word of apology, on she went, and very nearly drove her wretched coach through the doors of a great cathedral. Then she marched through the faithful who were all on their knees, and who then turned round to see who had arrived. And the service came to an absolute halt. I must shudder to admit the bishop himself was quite infected by the cause of the chaos. But I, being shocked to the nth degree, left the church and hurried to inform your highness right away. I also beg you to curtail the obscene behavior of an actress who, if you forgive me being forward, cast a shameful stigma on your highness. I think that's a carriage arriving down below. That's bound to be her. Now you shall see how severe I'm going to be.
So his grace, the Bishop of Lima.
The bishop! He's doubtless come to remonstrate as well. Senora.
Oh, your grace, you must go in first.
How well we'll together. What is this? The bishop giving his arm to a vulgar actress. I say, your grace, what an honor this is. I do apologize for not standing up, but my doctor has ordered. The young senora has explained that you're far from being well, but still I couldn't hurry home without discovering how you are, and so I had the chance to escort the senora from the cathedral in my own carriage.
It was a kindness I'll remember all my life.
What's that? Is your carriage already broken?
No, but in fact, it's no longer mine. It has been put to a new and better purpose.
A truly holy purpose. I am lost. For goodness sake, explain.
You must forgive me, my lord, if I no longer have the carriage which you gave me today. But when you have heard to what a worthy cause it has been endowed, you'll understand. In fact, you even may feel proud. You see, as I rode through the streets, being softly cradled inside my coach, an idea somehow came to my heart, which at once demolished all my pride and my shameless pleasure in the ride. I asked myself how I, miserable sinner that I am, and again with a dubious profession, almost an outcast.
My daughter, you're really too humble, and 'cause I've never seen you act in the theatre. I know that you bring great honor to your profession and to your art. Saint Janet was on the stage,
and I was being carried through the entire length of Lima very smoothly and at a most tremendous speed. I was covered up from the sun, from the rain, while so many saintly men of God went taking the last spiritual comfort to invalids are exposed to the weather night and day. Then there's the dust and the fatigue, and then I remembered how often I'd seen our noble clergy hurrying through the busy streets, just as fast as they could, to bring the dying their holy communion. But only one thought alarms them, that they arrive too late beside the writhing sufferer's bed. So I wept at my frailty, and the Holy Virgin showed me the light. I made a gift to heaven of that carriage, which was such a spur to my pride, for I was quite unworthy to be its owner.
She's had the grace and generosity to make the church a present of the coach and create a richly endowed foundation. This will fund the coach's upkeep forevermore. And in the future, when the suffering desire the consolation religion can give the dying and the sick, thanks to this coach, the Holy Sacrament will be brought to their door. And in this way many souls will be saved from hell. For alas, far too often hardened sinners will only ask pardon from their Creator, held in the icy hand of death. So the Senor has been touched by the inspiration of a saint. I admire you, Périchole, and I should like to be part of this outstanding need. Let me pay for the upkeep.
Your Highness, please, let me have the glory of having done this, as I have more than been repaid by the gift that His grace has given me. For this chaplet of prayers has been left for 7 days in the chalice of our most beloved Lady, in blessed glory of Cynthia.
And several indulgences go with the chaplet. I'm so overjoyed that all the pain in my leg has vanished. Pineda is a fool, and I have not got gout.
Surely it's the chaplet that you've touched, which has brought you, your highness, such blissful relief?
I'd say nothing is more likely. I've often seen it have splendid results. Yes, I'm sure, but I'll continue resting 2 more days to be certain. Another thing, your grace, may I suggest you indulge in delight and have supper chez la Périchole, so that you have a far longer time to get to know her.
I don't dare imagine that your grace would even dream of such a thing, though, of course, our Saviour himself did eat with the Samaritans, they say.
We shall see. Let us wait until His Highness has been cured. That is to say, he has accepted. I'm afraid that I haven't got the strength to refuse her charm.
Would Senor d'Esquivel please join us at the table?
You really do me too much honor. Then you will hear La Périchole sing pious hymns and psalms. Her voice would convert men who are dishonest and unfaithful. She might also lead astray an honest man who is pious and faithful.